Welcome back. You're still watching the news at 10, coming to you live from Channels Television. Justice John Soho of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has ordered the Nigerian police to immediately unseal the office of the Peace Corps of Nigeria, situated in Jabi, Abuja. Justice Soho also ordered the police and other security agencies laying siege at the premises of the Peace Corps headquarters to vacate immediately, as well as hand over possession of the office of the organization. The court gave the order following a ruling on a motion on notice filed by Mr. Dixon Akul, the National Commandant of the Peace Corps of Nigeria and the incorporated trustees of the organization. Justice Soho ruled that the application by the police was designed to legalize an illegality already committed since February 28, 2017, when the police sealed the office of the defendant. This is the second time the Federal High Court is ordering the Nigerian police to vacate the office of the Peace Corps of Nigeria.
This court again made an order directing the police and the federal government of Nigeria to unseal the headquarters office of our client, Peace Corps of Nigeria, situated at number 57 Iya Abubakar Way of Alex Ikweme Crescent, opposite Jabi Lake, Abuja. So that is the implication of the order that was made this morning by this honorable court.
Constituents. A lawmaker representing Takum 2 constituency in the Taraba State House of Assembly, who was kidnapped in December last year, has been found dead. The police public relations officer, Mr. David Misal, told Channels Television that the body of Honorable Jose Ibi was found in Takum local government area of the state. He explains that the lawmaker must have died about 3 days before his body was found. The police had announced the abduction of the lawmaker in December, but no ransom was mentioned. Well, that's it from the nation's capital. It's back to you now, Ijoma.
Right, thanks a lot, Gloria. As the crisis-rocking telecommunications network operator Nine Mobile, formerly known as Etisalat, continues, it's been revealed that the exposure of the Nigerian banking sector exceeds 500 billion naira of depositors' funds. The spokesperson for the lending banks disclosed this at a hearing organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Telecommunication in Abuja. The committee, which was mandated by the House to look into the collapse of Etisalat Nigeria, has resolved to meet the last board of the company over the matter. Our correspondent Larry Lasisi reports.
The meeting was well attended. Officials of telecommunication network operator Nine Mobile Nigeria, which was formerly known as Etisalat Nigeria, officials of the Nigerian Communications Commission, and representatives of the 13 banks that are lenders to the network company. They are appearing before the House Committee on Telecommunications, which is investigating the collapse of the former company Etisalat. With the absence of the Central Bank of Nigeria at the hearing, officials of the telecommunication regulator are first to speak.
From the point of view of NCC, yes, it's the regulator for the sector, but the sale of Etisalat is not being handled by the Commission.
If Etisalat had collapsed, then we wouldn't be here. Really, talking about them. What prevented the collapse of Etisalat and led to the rebranding as Nine Mobile was really the intervention, that important intervention by the Nigerian Communications Commission, as well as, the CVN.
Lawmakers are not comfortable with these positions.
We want to understand what's going on. Okay, but your legal director is saying one thing, or we're hearing one thing, which is, in a sense, we don't know what's going on, we're not party, we're waiting for. While Executive Commissioner is shedding a bit more light, saying, okay, we set up a committee where we know what's going on.
The lawmakers then turned to officials of the network operator.
The court order of Friday that has been referred to severally has been appealed. And as such, the matter, of course, is still sub judice.
For the bankers, a lot is at stake.
Due to gross mismanagement, the company began to experience serious financial difficulties from 2015. exacerbated by the downturn in the Nigerian economy as well as the devaluation of the naira. It is worth highlighting to the honorable members that the exposure of the Nigerian banking sector to the company currently exceeds 500 billion naira in depositors' funds.
The House of Representatives has fixed another date for further hearing into the matter, even as it resolved to meet with the last board of Int'l Nigeria as it seeks to unravel what led to the collapse of the company. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Now let's take a look at some business news. Here's Emana Hamawe.
You first. First Bank.
Hello, welcome to Business News. A survey by U.S. research-based global performance management consulting company Gallup International has listed Nigeria as the most economically optimistic country in the world for 2018. Gallup International's 41st annual global end-of-year survey, conducted in 55 countries and released over the weekend, shows that 28% of the world is now optimistic for the economic outlook for the year. The survey further indicates that net happiness across the 55 countries is 15% higher among those under the age of 34 than among the older population above 55 years. A total of 53,769 persons were interviewed globally. President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to commission the new office complex of the African Development Bank in the Central District of Abuja on January the 18th. The state-of-the-art building is the first permanent structure to be designed and constructed in any regional member country of the bank. The event will be attended by top government officials, development partners, international organizations and captains of industry, and the diplomatic corps. Nigeria is the African Development Bank's largest shareholder, with a portfolio of about $6 billion, and its operation in the country accounts for 13% of the AFDB's total activity. And the central bank today injected a total of $210 million into the interbank foreign exchange market in its continued efforts to boost forex liquidity. A breakdown of the latest supply indicates that $100 million earmarked for the wholesale window, $55 million is for small businesses, and $55 million for expenses such as school fees and medical bills. Last week, the CBN resumed its intervention for the year at the forex market, with a total of $472.5 million for the wholesale, small and medium enterprises and invisible windows, as well as the agricultural, airlines, petroleum products and raw material sectors. The National Insurance Commission has reviewed Nigeria's microinsurance guidelines of 2013 and released it for implementation with effect from January the 1st, 2018. Key changes in the guideline include market restructuring, minimum capital and registration requirements, as well as statutory deposits. The operational framework targets all heads of trade associations and insurance institutions with a view to improve financial inclusion in Nigeria. And the NSE All-Share Index ends today's trading session upbeat by 0.5%, in spite of profit-taking by investors in key equities across the 4 major sectors of the stock market. For more on today's transactions, here's BC Adebayo.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Reports. Despite negative sentiments across 4 major indices of the stock market, the banking sector lifted the all-share index back to the 43,000 level by 0.51% at the close of Monday's session. Gains recorded by 26 equities, led by FCMB, Skybank and international breweries, also added 79 billion naira to the total equities capitalization to 15.447 trillion naira. On the flip side, profit-taking hit the prices of 25 equities, with Eternal Oil, Union Bank and Lafarge as the top on the ladder. Now, for the 4th week, the duo of Transcorp and Diamond Bank retained their lead on the activity chart after investors traded a total of 730.61 million shares in 7,964 transactions. And that's it on the Stock Market Reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Meanwhile, African and Asian stock markets ended the session mostly positive, while the collapse of construction giant Carillion dampens European market sentiments. In the meantime, U.S. markets are closed today in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That's it on Business News Tonight. I'm Emana Amawe. It's back to Ijoma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Emana. Jigawa State government is allotting over 26% of the state's 2018 budget to education. The governor, Muhammad Badaru, describes it as the best human capital development investment any government can give to its people. The governor also restates its commitment towards improving both the welfare and the quality of teachers in the state.
About 2 months ago, the governor of Jigawa State proposed to spend 134.17 billion naira for the 2018 fiscal year. 48.8% of that budget proposal will care for recurrent expenditure, 50% for capital, as education takes priority over several other sectors, as it gets 26.4% of the total budget. The government explains why priority is given to the education sector.
The education has faced some neglect because of the huge amount of money required in education, and it's been neglected for some time. And the quality of what we churn out from the schools, nothing to write about, and also the quality of the infrastructure.
When we came, the schools were completely dilapidated. You know, there was so much congestion in the classroom, 300 students, 200 students. The boarding houses were overflowing with children. There were no beds, no beddings. There were no toilets in the schools. And there were no teachers.
In the last 2 years, government's intervention in the education sector has gulped over 7 billion naira, as officials describe the construction and renovation of schools across the state as a rescue mission to restore a sector that was almost collapsing.
And we have provided chairs almost for every child to sit on. We have provided chairs for the teachers. We have provided all the water and the toilets that are required in the school.
We agreed to build some houses for the teachers and create some good quality conditions for them to live in those villages and the hard-to-reach areas, so they can train the large population that are in the rural areas and hard-to-reach areas.
Before the end of the second quarter of 2017, an estimated 7.4 billion naira was spent for the construction and renovation of over 4,000 classrooms. This is in addition to the provision of toilet and furniture for students, as well as the construction of teachers' quarters and administrative blocks. While the government is proud of its achievement in the last 2 years, officials say the attention of government will now concentrate more on the quality of what is being taught in the schools.
Still ahead on the news at 10, American Venus Williams bows out at the first hurdle of the Australian Open in Melbourne. That's on sports. Please stay with us.